Game number 1, Sweden versus Norway. All the way to the top left, we have the Swedish player, the starting player for the team in this best of 7 in the round of 8. We have Zunster. He's going up against the ZVZ specialist. The starting player of Team Norway might also be the strongest player that they currently have. It is all the way to the bottom right on this map, Snoot. Snoot is the starting player, and well, let's see how he's going to play this. Zerg versus Zerg is a matchup where he really shines, where he has his strength in, and of course he could also be expected to be the potential ace player for his team here. Zunster definitely has his work cut out for him. We have a very interesting game now starting there. Not only that we have, of course, that Zerg versus Zerg match here at the beginning, but then also the entire match between Norway and Sweden is going to be a good one. With someone like Mini Razor, we have definitely a good Zerg player in the lineup of Team Sweden. Norway, on the other hand, they have Targa and they have Ike as well, and Ike alone can also do quite some damage. So, well, let's see how exactly this is gonna work out for especially Snoot. Snoot is in a position where he is probably pretty happy about the matchup that he gets here. He loves Zerg versus Zerg, he likes it. He's also a player that is very strong in the matchup. If you think about the Home Story Cup, for example, you might remember that Snoot was going up against Hyun there several times in finals, and he always won those. So a very, very strong performer in a Zerg versus Zerg. Zunster in a best of 1 can definitely take him out. There's no doubt about that. A ZVZ in any mirror match can really be decided in just in a minute or two. If you make one wrong move, if you play, for example, Ling Baneling, then even a second can already decide over win or loss in this matchup. But, well, right now, Snoot definitely probably going to look at this and be like, alright, I get a good matchup and I can pull this off. If he will really be able to do this, that's something that we're going to find out in just a few minutes. We currently see for both players gas taken. If you have a close look at the production tab, you can see that in this mirror matchup, they really mirror each other's build. It's exactly the same build for both players that they use here, and for well, we don't see any big deviations just yet. There's a few timing issues here and there, just a second on the gas, a second on the pool, something like that, but nothing big just yet. We could actually see once more Banelings and Lings on this pack in particular. We've seen this already a lot in the past. It's something that is, of course, also because we have a very, very big ramp here all the way at the front that you need to defend. And Lings and Banelings can be very great to just apply some pressure to your opponent. In the late game, what we usually see, or at least in the mid game, we have a lot of roaches and then players trying to move in with a few Hydras, Infestors, just trying to support the roaches. And, well, of course, with the Hydras you have an additional big damage dealer that you really would like to have. Everything is still exactly the same for the players, nothing changing for them just yet. I guess that's gonna be not the case for in a minute or two, since at the beginning of a match, no matter if you play a Zerg versus Zerg or anything else, you usually have a very scripted picture of what you want to do. You have that image in your mind and you try to follow it as closely as you can, and the longer the game progresses, the more external factors are starting to influence your build, and this is something that we're going to see in this game too. Both of them are doing exactly the same thing at exactly the same time, just little differences between the time where they put down the Baneling nest, but we have essentially the same thing. We even have very similar building placing in a lot of cases, not really with the Baneling nest here, but if you take a look at the pool, for example. What we might see here is also a third base attempt, that maybe, well, we actually have the aggression now for Snoot, who's going straight for a whole bunch of Zerglings, and this is really where those builds start to drift apart a bit. For Snoot, we have the more aggressive stance in the game, whereas Zunster is trying to play it more defensive. He's droning up much more than his opponent, therefore his harvester count is at 33 against 28. Snoot has the better army supply, and he is trying to just end this game quickly with a Ling attack with Baneling support, and that's something that Zunster, of course, could identify with the help of this Overlord in particular, but he also has another one right down here that saw the Zerglings moving in as well. So Banelings are just being taken out. Zunster is trying to save the Banelings in his own base, and he's doing a decent job at that, very well done. Has now still the high ground with 2 of the Banelings there, whereas Snoot is just poking slowly, trying to find out what's happening. Micro is everything here at this point. And Ling for a Baneling, that's a good trade for him. On the other hand, he loses the Baneling against the Queen of Zunster. So currently looking at the Baneling count, 6-6. Here come those hits. The Queen for Zunster is nearly down, and whoa, 11! 11 harvesters killed by Snoot. A great hit by the Norwegian player, and he kills even more. Now suddenly the harvester count, as you can see, 21 against 41. That was a brilliant attack by Snoot. He was able to just get his banelings into the mineral line, taking down the harvesters. In total, he took down 15, as you can see here. So 15 harvesters lost, and Zanster is trying to go for counter-aggression. Snoot is looking at the situation in the game, and he's basically just saying, alright, I'm gonna get my spine crawler here. I already did the damage. I know that you are in some trouble now. He's at 60 supply. He's getting more lings. He needs to build banelings as well, overlords, if he really wants to then use more zerglings later. The banelings that he's currently morphing, they are of course going to help him with the defense. No problem at that, but great position here for Snoot. Really good opening for him into this game. And now we have him with the third base. He's just looking at this and he's like, yes, you have an overlord there and you know exactly what I'm doing, but what are you going to do about it? You have to get your drone count up, or you're just going to fall farther and farther behind in the game. And if you do that, you won't be able to get the zerglings that you really need to take down my third base attempt. And I can just get my tech up. I'm going into Lair. I'm going into the Roach Warren. He gets everything that he needs here. The +1 attack upgrade is already on the way, and he even sends more zerglings over to his opponent's base. Yeah, trying to take down a few of the banelings and scouting, of course, what exactly Zanster's up to. That Zergling heads into the main, sees at least that there is no tech into Lair, and there's another set of Zerglings already trying to complete it. Another set of banelings and Zerglings was already on the move, but we have the rest of the lings moving in, meeting the roaches that Zanster built. Snoot is completing his own Roach Warren. He's a bit slower with that. The Queen might fall. No, he's able to save it just in the last second. But now the third base is about to be completed. Roaches are being built for Snoot, and Zanster, he is trying to make this work with his superior army supply. He knows that in worker supply he's far behind, and he also knows that if he doesn't kill this third base, his opponent is eventually gonna get so far ahead that he won't be able to catch up. That's one of the reasons why he builds the hatch here, to catch up with that. But we also have him with a big army that is trying to snipe that third base, and he's moving cross map now. Speed upgrade has been started for Snoot, so if this is becoming a factor in the battle itself, then Snoot will be able to chase down those roaches without a problem. Does Snoot have the army, on the other hand, to really stop this? That's 12 roaches against 6, and Snoot is getting more as we speak, 9 in total. Does he get them in time though? A lot of spine crawlers on the high ground, but he needs to save this third base, and that's going to be a bit more difficult with all these units in. The banelings are moving in, the rest of the roaches are on the move. We have a few queens helping out, transfuses already started. The Zerglings are starting to take down the harvesters here. Where are the reinforcements for Snoot? He really needs them, and there they are, coming down that ramp and pushing Zanster back for now. Snoot still overall with a bit of a lead there in overall supply, 97 against 87. Zerglings being eliminated now. Not too many queens killed, actually only one, and we now have, well, the Overlord had taken down. Okay, for a second I really thought that he might actually just have misclicked and attacked his own hatch, but that's not the case. He kills the Overlord, puts the spine crawlers in position. We have speed now done, +1 attack upgrade is completed. With the speed upgrade, those roaches, they are dead. They are dead and dying. They won't be able to escape here. Oh, and the rest of the roaches on the high ground won't be able to do that either, but the reinforcements are probably going to push Snoot back. He has his own reinforcements moving in, and as I already said, this is one of those situations where Snoot, if he wants, can just force the fight, and the Zanster cannot move back. But for now, it's not too much of a deal. Snoot is not really sure how many units his opponent has there, and it was just too close to call, so he just moves back for now, even though he has the upgrade lead. Goes into the double upgrades. And what we also see is still a 10 harvester lead in worker supply. We have a third base for Zanster now as well, but Snoot is getting these double upgrades, and the problem really for Zanster is that he is not getting a single upgrade yet. We have him on 0 upgrades, except of course for the speed upgrade for the Zerglings, but nothing else. And that is a big issue, especially with Snoot now heading into +1/+2. If he is getting those upgrades, he will be 2 to 3 upgrades ahead of his opponent, and he's just getting more and more roaches. At the same time, he's going for the baneling speed too. Snoot is a player that has been relying on banelings a lot in the past if he wanted to take out the Hydra lists of his opponent, but there are no Hydras just yet for Zanster. But just as a bit of a side note, Snoot really likes this style, and he has showed that several times, and he is just very, very solid in this matchup. Resources lost 4,000 against 3,000. That's what we currently see in favor of Snoot, of course. And Snoot now with the additional creep spread, that helps him to identify attacks early on so that he can react towards them. We have the third base absolutely safe with all of the units there. The roach count 39 for both players. Berserkling count also nearly the same. So it's starting to equalize a bit. Zanster is starting to close that gap between the two of them, except for the upgrades. That's really the big issue. Interestingly enough, we have Zanster now suddenly with the Overlord drop upgrades started. And that puts a very nice twist to the entire game. If he can drop into his opponent's main base, first of all, he might be able to do a lot of damage. And then Baneling bombs are also an option, not only against the army, but also against the harvesters. He needs to get the speed upgrade, of course. He will start that a bit later. But for now, we just have the army moving in. 124's army supply against 121. And I learned something new. Banelings that are being morphed are apparently not counted in the army supply. Instead, they're gonna pop up here once the banelings are done. At least that's what it looked like. Yep, there we go. No, not quite. Oh, do we? Yeah. There he gets the count up again. So, 200 supply, and he's moving in. And let's see how he's gonna move now. Banelings move. Oh my god, those detonators were beautiful for Snoot. Gets the rest of them in as well. Sunster is dropping in supply. Snoot is dropping in supply too, though. But we have that upgrade lead with a 2-1 against only a single attack upgrade for Zanster. Snoot does the damage. We have a few Zerglings over here trying to go for counter aggression. Not really working out. The GG called as Snoot wins the game. And you know what? I'm actually not sure if that was correct what I said about the Banelings, but I saw something drop on the army supply. It might have been something completely different. As is, we have Snoot with a 1-0 lead against Sweden. The Norwegian starting player taking that first win against Zanster. And now it's time for Sweden to reveal player number 2 to enter the arena and go up against